Hey guys, Jip here and welcome back to another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video, and I'm showing off a little bit of gameplay on the new map Shoot House, which is a very small map with, once again, of something I've talked about. Seems like a lot of hallways with small areas connected to more small hallways and small areas. It's a small map. I feel like it was made for 4v4 or 5v5, 6v6. There's a lot of people, and I definitely cannot see it working with 10v10. It would be pure hated chaos if they did that. But this is the new map. I think it might be based off that 2v2 map we saw in the beta but then expanded upon. But overall, unfortunately, I have to say it's one of the better maps in the game, but that's only because most of the maps that released with this game, in my opinion, are god awful. But it is playable, it is manageable. I've probably already put 8 hours onto this already. They were rocking Shoot House 24/7 over the weekend, and I was helping level some stuff up. So that's pretty much where I stuck the whole time, getting some chopper gunners, gunships, things of that nature. If you enjoy this new map, make sure to drop a like. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see where I've been streaming lately, follow me on Twitch. Link will be in the description. But today, we're going to be talking about that ugly thing that comes around every year, and especially that's lit up all over Twitter, all over YouTube, and all over Reddit in regards to Modern Warfare. And that is, once again, skill-based matchmaking. It always rears its ugly head. And I think this time, some people are actually trying to prove its existence. So I've seen some data sheets on the subreddit of a guy tracking his matches, the length of time it takes to put him in the match versus his KD and things of that nature. I've seen a lot of people just complaining about how tough their matches get. The higher their KD goes up or their win-loss, and it just starts to become more and more difficult, and they're not having fun. So when it comes to my experience, I noticed that over the weekend when I was playing for 8 hours one day, that the higher my stats started to go up, the more difficult my matches begun to get, and I was experiencing a little bit longer of a lobby search time as suggested by one of the people on the Modern Warfare subreddit. It was taking me a little bit longer here and there. Now for ground war, it just didn't happen, and it just didn't. But even for the 24/7 Shoot House, it wasn't, consistently the same amount of time to be put into a game. It actually was taking longer and longer. And then I found that if I had a couple bad games back to back where, my KD dropped even by a point, it kind of let up a little bit. But if I was going off, like in this clip you see right here, getting chopper gunners and stuff like that, I found that my next game or two games down the line, it got more and more difficult. So it once again comes back around. What is there to do about skill-based matchmaking in Modern Warfare? It's pretty much, at this point, a lot of people are agreeing that it exists. Typically, with these Call of Duties of past, you always have the people saying, it doesn't exist, it doesn't feel like it exists, just adapt, get good, all these other reasons for the matchmaking in the game, and then very few games people have agreed that it exists and it is punishing. Advanced Warfare was one of them, to the point where people, if you reverse boosted, you were literally playing against people the equivalent of bots. I had my own story in Advanced Warfare where I started up a new account on a new console, and after 3 games my KD was sitting between a 3 and a 4. I hadn't left the lobby. It was just, people were not good at all. They were really bad. And then as I was in my 4th game, I had just loaded in. The game pulled me out mid-game and tossed me into a new game in progress, and everybody was going super try hard and sweaty to the point where I just straight up backed out, turned off my console, and I did not go back to that account because that one little thing that confirmed, in my opinion, skill-based matchmaking exists and was actually, pretty strong. I was just not having none of it. So I just bounced, and I really didn't play much of Advanced Warfare because it's not some game that you could have played casually. Plus the 3D movement and all the loot boxes, I just wasn't a fan. So now we arrive through all these different CODs, and people over time complain about skill-based matchmaking here and there. A lot of it happens right off the bat with the game's release. I think what it is the hardcore Call of Duty fans in the beginning, they're pretty much the only ones who buy the game, and I think the rest of the super casuals and bad players come in around Christmas because everybody's parents or family are buying them the game, or they're buying the game themselves. So you have a lot of more noobs, and you already know the maps and things of that nature. So I think that's what's happening come this time of year. But with that being said, I know we're only a couple weeks out of the game's release. I do honestly believe that skill-based matchmaking exists in this game to a level we haven't seen since Advanced Warfare. I feel it as if it is quite strong, and it needs to be dealt with immediately, or we might have a partially dead game come Christmas time when the Christmas noobs drop. because there's already a lot of aspects about this game that people don't like. But one thing that a lot of people will not tolerate at all will be their matchmaking always causing them to be super sweaty to where they can't even hop on. So to a degree, I don't mind if I get lobbies every so often that are difficult. It keeps the game fresh for me. I can actually compare my skill. But then again, I like also having plenty of games where I can throw on music and just go for camos. I'm not looking to pub stomp. I'm not looking to go nuts. I'm just looking to complete some challenges to try to knock out some camos. And if I can't even do that because skill-based matchmaking exists, and it's a huge pain to where if you know I'm not going super sweaty, there's no way in hell I'm going to even be able to get 1 or 2 camos. That's definitely not a good thing. That's a very, very bad thing, especially now when you have camo challenges that, you know, 103 camos, right? Like one gun, you might take you between 13 and 20 hours, depending on the person you are and how, you know, if you've already leveled stuff up or not. It could take forever. And if you're going up against people who are of your skill and say you're a, you know, any skill level, if you're versing people of your skill, you're going to be having to try harder. That goes for 0.5 KDR people, that goes for 1 KDR, 1.5, 2, 3. It doesn't matter your KDR, because if that is your, you know, stats for how good at the game you are, you're not ever going to be in different variable playstyles. And also something when it comes to skill-based matchmaking, it makes the game highly repetitive. And I was just thinking about this today. The higher your KDR is going up, the better players you're going to verse, the same strategies you're going to go up against. People who are going to run from spawn to this specific head glitch and sit there a whole lot of time before moving to a different head glitch. And everybody's going to be doing something of a similar playstyle, especially if their favorite head glitch is already taken. They're immediately just going to go to a next one, right? There's no random 0.5 KDR person walking and navigating the map, you know, just having fun out in the open. There's no more of that. It's literally players all playing similar playstyles within. You're not going to have, you know, many people running and gunning, and you're not going to have a different mix. It's just going to be the exact same thing. So it's going to be very repetitive. So not only are you having to sweat, but your gameplay isn't going to be anything different. You're going to get really bored and tired of the game very quickly. And for me, Ground War is a good example of repetitiveness. The skyscraper map, everybody's just sniping on skyscrapers. If you want to play anything, there's very few people even going for the objectives. Most of the time when people are at objectives, that's because they're forced to spawn there. If we go to the quarry map, you know, you have tanks and a couple snipers sitting on the cliff. You have everybody focused around B and C, and then you have a couple people in the outliers just messing around. Highly repetitive. And I don't know what's going on, but skill-based matchmaking, in my opinion, should only exist in a competitive playlist. I feel that when it comes to normal public matches, it should be 100% based on connection. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No excuses, no nothing, no making reasons of why it should exist. It should be 100% based on connection. And if you're not willing to do that, well, you really shouldn't be making this game to begin with, because you're going to drive a lot of people away. And it really, really sucks. Now, I could make a caveat with this, right? Maybe players with, you know, 0.5 KDRs and below, maybe stick them in their own player pools, because the people who can get higher than a 0.5, they'll get put right back into ours. And if they get dunked on again, they'll go back down. But you're also going to have those people who are going to reverse boost their accounts to take advantage of those players. That's what happened in Advanced Warfare. People bought reverse boosted accounts, they reverse boosted their account, and they got down as far as they possibly could so they could drop deatomizers, not paying attention, blasting music, just doing random stuff with the worst guns. They could pull it off. So you're going to have to start messing with the game that, you know, if you fix the game to where it's 100% connection based in public matches, but the people who are extremely bad on the level of bots, say below 0.5 or 0.4 KDR, if people are reverse boosting when this system is in place, the first week has to be a banned for a week. The second time they do the offense, their account should be permanent banned. I kind of agree that the worst of the worst players should not be non-stop pummeled into existence, but I also believe we shouldn't be getting rid of this massive player pool, altering the game's flow, altering the amount of fun people could have, and in the end just making for a very boring and annoying gameplay experience. Because in the end, video games should only meet two criteria in the end: fun and entertaining. That's the only two things it should focus on. If it's going to try to come out and be a game that millions of people could play, and then focus on this huge competitive aspect being forced on them when they didn't want that, that's not good, and it's not going to end well. So I guess that's my proposed solution. We can do a player pool 0.5 KDR or 0.4 KDR and below. They're in their own set. Everybody else, take your licks. Put in the effort to get good, or just get dunked on, you know? I would like to be able to go for camos again casually and not have to sit here and be spawn killed with this incredibly high time to kill and horrible spawn system. I would actually like to go for Damascus, but in its current state, there is no way in hell that I am going to try and go for Damascus skill, the camo Damascus, when everybody super sweats. It's just not happening. I'm not going to even try. So hopefully they fix this. Hope they get rid of skill-based matchmaking, because this game is extremely obviously, like, I don't think Drifter is even going to try to fight on this one. And he's been fighting us for years, you know? So we'll see. Hopefully they do something. If they don't, this game ain't gonna last long. So like I said, if y'all are new to the channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.